What's up guys, Max here with my first chance to do some coverage on the latest revealed character that came at the end of the previous trailer, which is now known as AGANOS. That's right, the Golem that everyone's been talking about, the infamous Broccoli Man, does have a name and he is going to be making an appearance very soon in Killer Instinct. I've been wanting to make this video for a while now, but my voice really had not let me, so let's talk about what was revealed, what's going on with this gameplay so far, and his overall design and how I feel about it. Outside of the initial concept art and the stage, I am a big fan of the stage. This also reminds me kind of Spinal Stage, how it's kind of the polar opposite of Spinal Stage. Instead of this big, dark, brooding, haunting environment, it's much more kind of like solemn, and it's a much different approach to what a shore stage could be. So I think it looks good. It's probably going to look a lot better when it's actually in motion and everything. But in regards to a lot of the other AGANOS details, what we do have information on is that he is indeed the biggest character now in Killer Instinct. Previously, that award did go to Glacius. That is one extremely tall dude, but AGANOS kind of towers over the competition. If you look at this size comparison chart, holy hell, this dude is going to be covering the freaking life bars. It's kind of insane. He also has a replenishable resource, which is actual visually on the character. It can be used for projectiles, creation of walls, or even armor. So it's going to be kind of like Fulgor, I'm pretty sure, where you need to do something in order to replenish an attribute of some kind. But he can actually make walls, which are permanently there. They actually change the bindings of the screen and the boundaries of the fight where characters cannot jump over them, but he can destroy them, so that's going to be a really crazy dynamic, especially if he gets you stuck in a really tight spot. What's also interesting about the resources is that it's actually going to change a couple of his variables depending on how much he actually has on him at the time. Things like movement, jumping, and attack speeds are all going to be based on how much resources he's actually carrying at the time. But he does have a special roll attack, and it can controllably bounce around, but there's also a shadow move that allows for free action while incapacitating and damaging the opponent. This one, I'm kind of curious about. This is probably a move that you allow the character to get in some way. Like, you spend your shadow meter and it allows you to kind of like move around while the opponent can't do much. So it seems that AGANOS might be a very big guy and it might be kind of difficult to move around with him, so he does have abilities and kind of like usage to get around all that stuff. But other than that, he has really powerful 2 strike attacks in place of auto double, so this guy's going to be very easy to break. And he also has a stage ultra. It's not like the previous couple characters where we haven't seen a stage ultra in a while. He does indeed have one. And in regards to his story, we kind of get an understanding of why he looks the way he does, where he's taken pieces and bits of like the world and the planet around him and kind of molded it to his own body because he is so freaking old. The dude is nearly 3,500 years old because he's been pursuing Khan-Ra his entire life, as we get into a little bit of the story behind Season 2, where a king had kind of summoned this war golem and given him kind of like spirit and heart in a way in comparison to the rest of the other like war golems, and this one has been hunting Khan-Ra ever since. So he doesn't look the exact way he used to, which is probably an excellent way to introduce some accessories and things like that down the line. But in regards to all of this, we should quickly talk about what my impressions are of the character initially. And right off the bat, I'm not immediately threatened by AGANOS. A lot of folks really think he looks very cool, and that's totally fine. I do see where they're coming from, but at the same time, I don't feel like AGANOS looks like super threatening in a way. He kind of feels like a creature that you would run into in the forest of, like, you know, the Never-Ending Story or something like that. Something that might actually help you instead of be threatening. But either way, it's going to be totally different when you actually see him in-game. Right now, I'm going to give his design maybe like a 7 out of 10. I don't think he's amazing looking. I don't think he's like completely badass, but it's really going to depend on how he looks in-game in motion, because I'll say right now, in comparison to the concept art, he looks a little skinny in the concept art, and then you look at his actual in-game screenshot when he's compared to Thunder and Glacius, the dude is hefty as hell, and he does actually look a lot better in-game than the artwork, so I'm really glad to hear that. The other thing I wanted to talk about in regards to all this stuff is what the heck is AGANOS going to be? We can definitely tell he's a big heavy-hitting style character, but is he going to be a grappler or more like a Juggernaut style character? And the thing is, with all these different types of attributes, you have these big guys, you gotta give them the tools to get in some way. And when you have Juggernaut, he has this big dashing attack that allows him to get across the screen. If you have other characters like Potemkin from the Guilty Gear Xrd series, or Guilty Gear X series, I'm sorry, they have this move that kind of trips up the opponent and allows him to get across the screen if they're on the ground. So they do have always tools to make their way in. It's just the way you use them to make the character actually effective in a close range. And right now, AGANOS immediately has that wall attack, which prevents you from kind of moving backwards. And if you get stuck in a corner, man, it's going to be ridiculously terrifying. I'm only curious about how fast some of his normal attacks are, so who knows, man. If he has armor on some of his moves, it's going to be very good. And if he's kind of like a Juggernaut status character, I really want to see if he has a natural command grab, if he's a command grab character, or just a giant heavy hitter, but we're going to find out pretty soon. Overall, I think AGANOS looks pretty interesting. I'm not ridiculously thrilled about him right now just because of his overall design, but I am kind of relinquished because he does look pretty cool in this in-game screenshot. So hopefully we're going to see some more in-game live action footage as soon as possible. And with the AGANOS update, we're getting the huge change that's going to be happening to the Killer Instinct ranking system, as well as the introduction of colors 7 through 9. And it has been established that level 50 characters will take a while to get in ranked matches, which will give you access to the final skin. And they've said it many times before that this final skin, even though the ones they're showing off right now are just some additional skins like colors 7 through 8, the final one is going to be really unique, and it's not going to look like any other. So I'm really looking forward to see what Fulgor and a lot of the other characters are going to look like as a result of it. But the other thing that I really do like about this is that they're giving all the unique accessories that you get for the characters their individual colors. So now the amount of customization that you're allowed to do with each individual character and their accessories is going to be pretty in-depth, which is going to lead to a lot of different looking characters. So all things considered, this is probably the biggest update for Season 2 outside of the initial update to the Season 1 vanilla roster than we have seen in the entirety of Season 2 of KI. So if you guys are looking forward to this stuff, it's coming at the end of the month. We're going to be seeing the trailer for AGANOS coming around the same time, I'm pretty sure. But at the moment, I think all of this stuff is scheduled to still be hitting in February, and it's looking to be pretty interesting. There's going to be a lot of changes to KI coming very soon, and don't go anywhere, guys. As soon as I get more footage and more information, I'll be back, and I guarantee you I'll be back with some more exclusive AGANOS coverage, as well as some of his Ultra information, and getting some visuals on what he looks like in actual matches in glorious high resolution and 60 frame per second videos. So don't go anywhere, guys. I'll be back with that as soon as possible. My name is Maximilian, and I'll see you next time.